Andy Johnson, Minnesota State University. We are looking at diagnostic reading assessments or informal reading inventories, and we're going to focus just on the graded reading passages today. These are used, by the way, to diagnose the causes of reading difficulty. First of all, what it is, graded reading passages is a text that is normed for a particular grade level. Reading level 3 means that the average third grader could read that independently. Average means 50% or more could read it independently. 50% or less cannot read it independently. More specifically, if it says reading level 3.4, that means it's been normed for third grade, fourth month. The average student in the third grade, fourth month could read that passage independently. Now, most or all commercially prepared diagnostic reading assessments, informal reading inventories, contain graded passages that you can use. However, you can create your own or find your own using basals, which are graded or leveled, or books. If you look on the back, you can see that reading level 4, most books today come with the approximate reading grade level. As well, you can find series that have been leveled or graded, and a lot of these tells the approximate grade level at which they are written. And reading levels are approximations because the ability to read is determined quite a bit by your knowledge of the subject and the vocabulary used. So these are approximations always. So the steps. Step number 1, you want to record the session and record each part of your session independently. Now remember, you're using the graded word list to determine the approximate level. Record that separately. Often you're doing more than one graded reading passage. Record each one separately. That enables you to quickly go back and forth because most often you need to analyze each section more than one time. Always start by having the student say his or her name and approximate grade level because you will forget. Lots of great devices today, digital recorders, iPads, and most phones come with a recording device today. You want to use a passage or start with a passage that's just below students' independent reading level. Now, depending on their success, you're going to keep moving up. The student reads out loud. Now, as the student reads out loud, you want to provide hints or help only when necessary. The goal is to collect data, so you want to give the students enough space to make self-corrections and to figure out what the word is. You're collecting data. But we don't want to frustrate the student at the same time, so you'll have to use your teacher intelligence because frustrating students will affect both the quantity and the quality of the data that you collect. So provide hints only when necessary. And of course, you have a copy in front of you, and as the student is reading, you identify the miscued words. Simply put a line through it. Now, a miscue is when what a student says doesn't match what's on the page. We don't call it an error because oftentimes miscued words reflect mature reading behavior. And we'll find out more about that in the next video. As you are recording, you want to quickly note and record facial expression, body language, general confidence, word identification strategies, and anything that stands out. Now remember, you're recording it so you are able to go back and analyze it more in depth later. So during the reading process, I'm observing and trying to catch my general impressions of that student. Now, most commercially prepared assessments of this type come with comprehension questions, and these are optional. Of course, if students are struggling with fluency and word identification, comprehension scores are going to be low. But the commercially prepared ones tell you how many errors they need to make and what is the independent instructional frustration level. All right, but we'll be showing you other ways to do this in further videos. You also want to record the word identification score. All right, 98% or more of the words, independent level, instructional level, frustration level. These are the words that students successfully identify. And we'll be looking at this more later, but you move up until you reach students' instructional level. So you start at the right below the independent reading level, and you keep moving up until you find that instructional reading level. You can also assess fluency or words per minute, and I'm going to show you how to do that and how to analyze miscues in the next video. This is just an overview of the graded reading passage used in a diagnostic reading assessment.